everybody. Welcome to a brand new month. I hope that you guys are all doing well at home. It's June, and that means a little bit of nicer weather, hopefully, minus the last couple of days. It took me for a bit of a loop that we had such drab weather, rain, and Friday afternoon it actually even snowed for a bit. It took me right back, but hopefully the weeks to come are beautiful, and let this just be one big reminder that even the most beautiful plants and flowers need rain in order to flourish and bloom. So I'm happy about the warmer weather coming, and hopefully that means that we're able to get outdoors a little bit more and start to enjoy things a little bit more. And knock on wood, I don't want to, say something that may or may not happen. I do want to address right off the bat, though, that this hopefully is a great month for everyone with some new perspectives and some new outlooks, and hopefully some new parameters around what we can get out and get back to doing. I feel like leading up to this has been a really hard month. May was extremely difficult for a lot of people. And, just in having conversations with clients, I feel like this has the boiling point, like the pot has been simmering, and patience is a big thing right now. So take a deep breath and let's just share what we have. I picked a bunch of cards for you today, and these reflect on a lot of the conversations that we've been having, a lot of what I've been asking my guides, what we need clarity on, or where we need to put our energy into and focus on, bigger things that are more on the positive end, and maybe not so much the negative things that we don't have control of anyway right now. So I'm going to get to it. The first set of cards, they go together. It's a three set. And this one's really about the kids. Okay, so it's hard to see this image. It's an angel holding like a little baby angel, and it struck me when I pulled the card and thought, oh, what is that one? I'm not familiar with it because it's been a while since I've used this particular fairy deck. But it's parenting and children, and I thought, oh wow, this is a message that somebody really needs to hear, that everything's going to be okay with your kids, whether it be due to stress or due to anxiety right now, something medical. I feel like that constant reminder to them needs to be put out there. Kids are really suffering right now. And if I'm being honest with you, this card kind of reminded me of my basement. My daughter does her online schoolwork on the main floor, and my son's in the basement on his PC, and he's got his little lights and all that stuff going on. But I tell him all the time, like, you need to get out. You need to come to the main floor. You need to go to your room, even somewhere where there's a little bit of light. And it really got me thinking about how much I talk to them, just about whether they're doing okay, and just the fact that it's getting to a lot of these kids being home. And in recent days, this conversation about kids going back to school, some of them have the reverse um, thought process and are feeling anxious about going back because they've now become so accustomed to being home, and it's bringing on anxiety and nervousness. So I believe that this parenting and child card has to do with us really getting in touch with their feelings and how they're struggling, or how they're really doing on an emotional level. The next card that I pulled, interestingly enough, is also a larger being holding a smaller one close to the heart. And, this is all about self esteem. Archangel Michael says, call on me to protect you from what you're lacking, or protect you from what you feel nervous or anxious about. And in this particular instance, maybe it's the children that are feeling a lack of self-esteem. For many of them, they haven't seen their friends or their teachers in such a long time. I know a lot of kids work with cameras off, and I know that this has to do with teachers as well, worrying about their students coming back. A lot of kids have also gained a little bit of weight during COVID, and I know that that has really affected them mentally, their train of thought. They're not as active as they were before. They're not taking part in their regular sports or their extracurricular, like that soccer, that hockey. And so this really is about just getting to the root of the problems and talking openly with the kids, and something to learn on both ends, I think. And if you are that parent who's just heard a diagnosis or just gotten some negative or ill information, something that's got you worried or preoccupied, talk through it with your kids. again, a representation of some darker times here. But again, we're their mama bears, right? We're there, whether it's you being a mother or a father figure in their life, or a guardian or a grandparent. It's us nurturing them and talking to them openly about that self-esteem and about the protection that they have with their angels. Um, I pulled another card about that because I wanted to know if this was a definite yes or a definite no, something we needed to focus on, or something we should be giving a lot of energy to. And what came up was to remain positive. So I think the overall message for these kids is, it'll be summer soon, and hopefully in September they'll be able to get back to a regular routine. But throughout all of this, even for us as parents, to remain as positive as possible. The kids really do feed off of our energy. And like I said, if I'm being honest, a lot of people have now hit that boiling point where we're lacking patience, and they feed off of that. So we want to try to keep the environment as high vibe and as positive as possible. Okay. The next set of cards that I picked, this is all about honesty and digging deep and tapping into our feelings and, again, what we're going through right now. And it says here, be honest with yourself. So I know a lot of people are feeling trapped in relationships and in their homes, not being able to go anywhere. And I feel like this card is a huge reminder that even though we're stuck on the inside, think about it like an incubation. Think about it as this is an opportunity for us to transform, to spend some time doing things or investing in ourselves the way that we normally might not have the time for. Okay, when I look at her, she's sitting down kind of in a prayer pose. The dragonflies always represent evolution and infinity. So we're constantly changing, hence the butterfly wings and the transformation. Okay, so if you are one of those people who is maybe in a situation that you're not being honest about, or you're feeling unhappy, or you're feeling like the anxiety or the nervousness or the stress level has hit that boiling point, be honest, talk to someone, okay? It's really, really hard for us to be internalizing right now, even though we're all going through a little bit of something. Being honest and talking about it is the best thing that we can do. And there's a reminder here from our guardian angels that big and happy changes are coming. Okay, they're on the way. So again, just trying to do the things that we can do to remain as positive as we possibly can, to remain as happy as we possibly can, and use this time as an opportunity to transform ourselves and learn new things, whether it be through education or online learning or books. Right now is the perfect time to be investing in literature and knowledge, and again, just getting back to who we are, but the next version of ourselves, the next level of ourselves. Okay. Breathe there. This next set of cards, this one felt really heavy to me as well. And again, I'm not surprised because right now we're going through the thick of very heavy energy. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. I'm giving it to you exactly as is. The first card that came up was patience. And I know that we've talked about this already, just practicing patience. This particular one has to do with relationship harmony. So I'm going to read this one first. It's Archangel Jophiel, who says, your dreams are blooming more rapidly than you realize. Still, they need nurturing and patience. So I do feel like this could be within a job, within a career, goals and aspirations that you may have. And right now you're just kind of sitting on it, simmering, waiting for something to bloom or waiting for something to happen. However, when I went to the next deck to pick a card to coincide with this, the relationship harmony came up. And this card is really about resolving matters of the heart. It's Archangel Raguel. We angels are opening the hearts of everyone involved. Arguments and conflicts are now being resolved. And this is really just taking the time, being patient with your partner, with one another, talking to each other about maybe the step back that you guys have taken, your frustrations with each other. My husband made a comment the other day. We were talking about this. We're not used to being in such close proximity of each other all the time. And over the last year, I'm sure that everybody's gone through at least one round of lockdown where you've been home with your spouse. And so what that does is it's giving extra time on the clock where we're scrutinizing each other. We're picking up on all the little things that maybe bother each other. And so we're pointing the finger a lot more. And this card is saying, like, let's resolve those arguments. Let's have patience and let's talk to each other. Okay. And most importantly, when I pulled the angel card to go with it, forgiveness is what came up. And on both ends, there might be a little bit of forgiveness that needs to happen where there's conversations about maybe how you speak to each other, or how there's lack of patience when you need something done or when you ask for help, or just pitching in around the house and that sort of thing, and forgiving the way that we come across to each other. Okay. I believe that when we do this and when we have a little bit of patience, that we will get back to this relationship harmony. That was big, okay? Because I know, like, I'll be honest, I'll tell you, even in my own household, we've been sometimes at each other's throats and sometimes in perfect harmony. And it was that one conversation that we had where it was like, wow, we're really in each other's faces. So like, let's take our time, let's do our thing. And I hope that everybody does that, because it's really difficult when, like I said, you're under a microscope and you're pointing out all of these little things about each other, these little qualms that might bother you. Um, and then there's this next set of cards. This one was a big one. This was all about mending bridges. And when I pulled this card, I thought, okay, wow, this coincides with the relationship ones. So I went to a different deck and pulled something to go along with it. But this is really about the mental conflict that's happening here, and really seeing two sides to the story. Okay, these two people in this image are back to back, none willing to face what's going on. And if I have to be honest, it's really difficult when you want to cross that bridge and make amends and the other person's not meeting you halfway, or when you're really analyzing your relationships and again trying to be the bigger person. But the message that comes up is that in order for you to heal and to move forward, that there needs to be some sort of mending when it comes to the different friendships, relationships that you have. When I meditated on it and was asking, are these two women in the photo? Is this what I need to be looking at? I went to my deck that has balance in there, and husbands and male energy and female energy, and the female energy card is what came up. So this is mother, wife, sister, or daughter. And I feel like within these two cards there's a lot of trauma. If you look at this beautiful lady Nada over here, everything seems perfect. She's beautiful, she's pretty, she seems like she's got it all together, beautiful jewels, but there's something there with the look on her face that's just not quite right. And to me, I feel like we're composing ourselves, or within the card, maybe she's trying to hold this composure of everything's okay when it's really not, okay? The mending of relationships would be with a female that's close to you, whether it be relationship trauma with a mother, or relationship trauma with a wife. Okay. I look at sisters as well as sometimes relationships and friendships. Okay. So it doesn't necessarily mean like a bloodline sister, but it could be a friendship. And I don't want to say that somebody necessarily needs to be the bigger person or to step up, but I definitely feel like we can all heal a little bit more when we put our best foot forward and fess up, own up to maybe some of the mistakes that we might have made. Or again, this word, it's so difficult, but forgiveness, you know, we are not necessarily the generation before us. So if this has to do with some sort of ancestral trauma on the female side or the maternal side, that maternal lineage, it's really learning to forgive, and also saying, the way you are or the way you did things might have been what you knew because you're a product of your environment, but it's really up to us to try to change that so that the next generation moving forward doesn't go through that same thing. So I encourage you, if this is you or this card is speaking to you right now and there's somebody that you need to talk to or somebody that you need to make amends with, to reach out and maybe try doing that. Okay, you'll feel better for it. At least on your end, you'll know you have done everything that you could to salvage that. Now, here's a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. I felt like that was very heavy, but I will recap that in a minute. This next card was all about starting fresh. And I feel like I've been waiting to pull a card like this because I feel like we really all just need a boost of energy and, that vitamin D, that dose of sunshine in our lives, and getting back to, hanging out at patios and seeing people face to face. I miss the in-person interaction. And I'm sure that my sister feels the same way, and I'm sure that you all do at home. And as much as Zoom has been wonderful, and we have our Wednesdays at the studio where we have curbside pickups, so we do see people, it's just not the same. Okay, so this starting fresh is really about cleansing the old and releasing it and bringing in the new. You got the moon phase in here as well, so again, that's a great time to release any unwanted energy or what no longer serves you to Mother Earth, Pachamama, and also welcome in all the new things. I can't help but notice the shape in the card, the yin yang symbol, which is a balance of female and male. So you got that masculine energy, that female softness of Mother Earth and blooming and new things starting, okay? And from the same deck, this one fell out, so I felt like it was just perfect to add it in here. It's giving birth. And, this doesn't necessarily represent fertility. Although if this message resonates with you right now and you're going through fertility issues or you're trying to have a baby, then first off, pray to our Saint Gerard. I always say this when readings, fertility comes up. Saint Gerard's the patron saint of expectant mothers. But this particular card says, I'm bringing forth new and dynamic energy into the world. And I love this because she's in I guess, such a beautiful position here where she's just waiting for something to happen. Again, patience, nurturing, allowing things to happen naturally and organically. Okay, so that's another one. I pulled a prayer card because I haven't done that in a while. But before I do that, I'm going to give you a quick little recap. I feel like when there's this many cards involved, it's nice to be able to just go back and kind of tell it like a story. So it's interesting that this was the first one because if we think of our lives, we all started off as children and babies, and this is really all about the parenting and the children and listening to their needs and their wants and what's going on with them right now. A lot of them lacking that self-esteem. Remembering, pray to Saint Michael, Archangel Michael, always there for us. Okay, and trying to remain positive. Again, I know we're burning the candle at both ends, but just we're almost there. Okay, so try to remain positive there. Then the next card coming up here is being honest with ourselves. Okay, and when we're honest with ourselves and our needs and our wants and our goals and our desires, we're more likely to have big and happy changes because being honest with ourselves means that we're putting ourselves first. Okay, we're listening intuitively to what we're asking for and we're going out and doing that. Of course, everything in life requires patience so that we give things a chance to grow and to bloom. And patience is definitely required when it comes to relationships and finding that harmony, that balance within the four walls of your homes and within the relationships of your partner. Okay. Getting back to each other, saying you're sorry, understanding that frustrations are vibing really high right now, and finding that place of bliss again. Okay, forgiveness is always key, and this forgiveness card can definitely go with both of these next sets. So forgiveness can go with the relationship, your partner, your husband, and moving forward. And then of course we had this one, which was big. This was about mending the relationships. Okay, with a female. Mother, sister, friend, business partner, and really getting back to the hurt and apologizing and breaking the lineage for what may come, and really putting to bed unresolved issues. Okay. And then, of course, this last set is the starting fresh, which, we all need. I'm really excited to have pulled that one for you. And the giving birth. Okay. The birthing is transformation and new things to come. I want to leave you with, I feel like I just went a mile a minute over here, and I'm sorry if I went too fast for some of you. It was a lot of cards, and I wanted to get through them. This prayer card, I've used this deck, oh God, for over 10 years now. I pull it all the time, but this is not a prayer that I'm familiar with, which means it doesn't get pulled that often. To me, that's a sign that it needed to happen. It's lean on God and your angels for support. Dear God and the angels, I give you this situation now and completely. I step out of the way and allow divine miracles to shine through everyone and everything involved. And I guess that kind of makes a lot of sense as to what's going on in the world as a whole, but a reminder to walk by faith and not by sight. You know, we don't know what's happening. We cannot tell um, what's going to happen in the next couple of weeks or the next couple of months. And so remaining positive, leaning on our faith, trusting in God, asking for prayer, and along with a lot of patience. I hope that you guys enjoyed that. I hope that the month of June is a beautiful one for you and one that brings forth a lot of happiness and some new experiences. And again, just getting back to social interaction and sunshine and out there socializing with people. From the bottom of my heart, I wish you safety and happiness and blessings on blessings until next time. Daniela will be here for the month of July, and then I will see you back here in September, which means no, August. Jumping way too ahead. I'll see you back in August. Take care, everyone. Bye.